Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Valentine Lister, and today I wanted to go over a video that I've been wanting to do for a while and share with you some of my favorite crystals. Now, this video is good if you're new to crystals and incorporating it into your spiritual practice. And it's also good for if you're just curious, like you already use crystals and you're just curious, like what other people use and why they use them. Um, I thought it would be fun to share. So today I'm going to share with you my 10 favorite crystals. I'm going to show them to you, tell you why I like them. So actually first let me get into a little bit about like crystal healing and like why you would use crystals if you're new to them. And so first of all, I didn't get it at first. Like I didn't really understand like how having like a crystal near you could help you out like with your spiritual practice. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it has a certain energy or it heals your energy or shifts it. But to be honest, like even though I'm a very spiritual person, I'm super skeptical about this stuff too. Like I don't believe any of this until I try it for myself. And like that's what I recommend for you guys. Like anything I recommend or anything anybody else recommends, I think like try it out for yourself and see if it clicks or makes sense for you in the first place. If it doesn't, you don't have to do it. Like, these are just suggestions for you. Like you have the inner wisdom, know how to know like what would be good for you. Um, so here's what I've come to believe about the crystals now that I do incorporate them and embrace them in my practice. You know, I think the biggest thing a lot of the times with getting like connected to our spirit, like our inner voice, intuition into the universe is getting out of our heads. So a lot of times we're too in our heads. We're thinking about like what we need to do next, how we're going to pay the bills, how we're going to find love, what's going on in our relationships, what's going on with our kids or families or our pets, all of those things. And we're thinking, thinking, thinking. And the main thing that spiritual practice, the goal of it is trying to do is to get you out of your mind. Your mind has a usefulness, and those thoughts can really help you, but only when you're in a relaxed space and when you're feeling grounded in your body. But as you know, it's very difficult to shut off your mind, and you can't shut off your mind. So, like with meditation, it's supposed to help you to observe what's going on in your mind and help you manage it and like step away from it and really feel grounded. And then your mind just clicks. Once you're relaxed, it just clicks. So, like, how does this tie into spiritual practice? Well, it gets you out of your mind and into your body. Um, and so there's something about just having the presence of the crystals, I think, that helps to remind you of like a certain energy, a certain space that you want to be in. Like, I don't believe personally that it like clears your energy or anything. I think we already know, like, I think our soul already knows like how to shift into certain spaces. I think it knows like we do know on like an intuitive level like what we need to do. Like we're connected to the universe, we're part of the universe. But that gets covered. It's almost like a blanket goes over our soul, which is our minds, our thoughts, our body. Like it covers all of this, like our emotions, our thoughts. And like the crystals do something where they help us to remember like the space we need to be in for what we want to do. There's also another belief like that things in nature, which crystals do come from nature, have a spirit in them. And this is something that through astrology I actually learned about because I'm studying the myths. I'm going to be doing eventually a series on Greek mythology, which I'm super pumped about. And there's a big thing in like ancient spiritual practices where they believed that there was a spirit, like there was an actual like living spirit inside. Um, like things in nature and like deities like gods, goddesses, nymphs, humans, even that their spirit was inside these natural things, and that um, these items from nature like crystals or plants, trees, whatever, um, like they were there to support us. So it's not just like a crystal is not just an inanimate object. There's actually a spirit or like a soul of its own energy inside the crystals, and they're happy to help us out if we request it. And so that's what the crystals help us to do. So that really helped me out, and that helped me click, because I've always connected to nature and the spiritual part of it, but I didn't quite get it. And I like it because I'm all about like relationships and connecting to people, like, and connecting to their spirits. And so it really helped me out to think that there is a spirit like inside this crystal that wants to connect with me and that wants to help me. And it makes it more personal versus looking at a rock, and that rock really is like lifeless and helping me. So when you're using crystals, if you're new to crystals, like it's super easy, it's super simple. Like, you just have like this crystal with you, and the presence of that crystal helps you. They're happy to help you. And crystals have specific purposes in order to help you. They all have a different energy. But in this video, I might tell you a little bit about the energy and what they're there for. But I really, if you're new to crystal healing, or even if you use crystals, I want you to step away from picking one because it does a certain thing. I want you to get to know it, right? Because it's kind of like if you're dating, like someone might look good on paper, maybe they're super cute or they have a good resume, but you get together with them and you just don't feel anything. Like you just feel nothing. And but meanwhile, like somebody else like might connect with them and they're their soulmate. And that's the same thing with like using crystals or even herbs or anything, any plant type of medicine. I want you to either go into a store, like look with crystals, play with them like a child, pick the ones where you go, ooh, right? And you're not thinking that you like it, but you're going like, there's something about this, like, what is this? And explore it like you are a damn child getting yelled at in a store, but no one's going to yell at you now because you're an adult and you can do what you want. And just pick the crystals that way, because it's about having a relationship with these items and the spirit in the crystal to help you get to a certain place. And usually, like with the first crystal I'm about to talk about, which I will get to, like you'll find out later that that crystal was exactly the one you were supposed to connect with, that had the healing properties that were best for you. Also, in order to like cleanse your crystals, I do have a video on that. So I will link that, I believe like up here. Sorry if it's the wrong direction, and I'll put a link in the description below. And cleansing your crystals means that like you're just welcoming that crystal into your space. You're telling that crystal like, hey, I think you're cool. I want you around. So it's kind of like an invitation. A lot of people are like, get the, the negative energy off of the crystal. I'm not like super into that. I mean, I think your crystal will be fine if you don't cleanse it, but it's just like taking time to just say like that crystal, the spirit in that crystal is important, and that you want to connect like in relationship to that crystal. And again, how to use your crystal, like you don't need to think too much about it. You can just have it around you. Like I have some at my desk. I have some in my bathroom, like under my mirror. I have some at my altar, which I also have a video about on how to like set up an altar for a daily spiritual practice. And this is a super easy spiritual practice. So I will link that as well somewhere. You can wear it like as jewelry. You can either get it pre-made as jewelry, that crystal, or like this is like a cage, like an amulet where you can put in a crystal in there, so I can change out the crystal that I want to have. Yeah, or like I said, you can like put it in your pocket to carry it with you. So anyway, let's get into my 10, I don't have all my fingers, favorite crystals. Okay, so the first crystal I really connected with is amethyst. This is like one of my faves here. It's purpley, it's dreamy, and it made me think about like the connection to the spirit world. So the reason I connected with this, I think, is because of the Light Seers tarot deck, which I've used in some of my tarot series. So on the Fool card, I'm not going to show the card. I don't have the card with me, but in the Fool card in the Light Seers deck, she's holding on to this amethyst crystal, and I just was so like drawn to the crystal, even though it was just a drawing in a card. And so I got one like from the store. This is one of the first, this crystal here is one of the first ones I've gotten, and then I got these other amethysts in like other places, and it really reminded me of my connection to the spirit world, to spirituality. And it's like it's so hard to describe like that universal, like, I don't know, creative force or presence. Like there's so many names like for, you know, I guess you could call it like God or the universe or goddess, right? The universal spirit. But I've always had a deep connection like to spirit. And this crystal reminds me of that. Um, and I just found that super, I don't know, it was like one that I wanted to have in my space. And so it has a very like dreamy energy and also very like I don't know, it's like risk-taking energy, but it's like this energy of just like go for it, don't think too much. Like kind of like in that Fool card, like just don't be afraid to dream and to go after your dreams, and that like there is something about just like really treasuring life and the experiences that we have in it. Okay, so the next crystal that I really connected with, um, that I love is rose quartz. And this is like a very popular one too. Like a lot of people like rose quartz and they're like, oh, rose quartz, whatever, kind of boring. But it's just one of those crystals that has this like beautiful, like loving, gentle energy that's really like soothing and really tender. So if like, I don't know, I feel like this stone is so good. This crystal is so good for like heartbreak. Like if you've had your heart broken and you need somebody to be very loving and gentle with you, like this crystal has that type of energy. So it's really good for like heart healing, if you need soothing, if you've been grieving about anything, if you had a fight, if like life is just difficult and like you need somebody to understand, like this crystal is like pretty perfect for you. Okay, so the next crystal I absolutely love is Lapis Lazuli. This stone is such a beautiful like royal blue color, and it has these like gold flecks and stones in it. And so this is cool. This is a stone that was associated with the goddess Venus in ancient Greece. And so they used to make stones actually like coins made out of crystals in the past. And so this stone used to have her image in it. And it was something that this was like a very, very popular stone like in ancient Greece because it was associated with her and harmony, beauty, pleasure, and money. And it's like really easy to see why this stone was so popular. And I believe it's still like very popular. It's actually kind of hard to find. Like I did have a hard time like finding like more lapis lazuli after I got my first one. Um, and it does have this like sense of like pleasure to it, and it's just like beautiful and like fancy. And I don't know, it's really like got this I guess it's really associated with like Venus, like this sensual beauty and also like having the finest and having the best. I don't know what it's like, the royal blue, and then it has like these gold flecks in it, and it's just like really it's really like when you want to enjoy yourself and also when you feel like you're the bomb and you want like pleasure in your life and you deserve it and you're worth it. Like that's the type of energy that lapis lazuli has for me. All right, and this next one, it brings me so much joy. This is citrine. And this is like one of my absolute favorite stones. And so citrine, when I first got it, it really reminded me of like an orange like popsicle or lemon popsicle, like a like it reminded me of ice, but like a citrus ice that you might like kind of like suck on and eat when you're a child, and it just has this like beautiful energy and had this like childlike energy like of like yeah, when you're just having that like frozen orangey like creamsicle like popsicle like when you're a child. And so it has this like beautiful like childlike energy which is full of love. It just has such love to it. And so later on I found out um that this crystal is good for the heart. It's good for confidence and that childlike energy. And the type of confidence is like when you were a kid, before you really cared about rules and before you even registered that you were getting in trouble for things. And you're just like, I'm amazing, or people are amazing. And you're just like so giving of love. It like brings you back to that space. So this next crystal, I'm in love with it. And the funny thing is I still don't really know a ton about it, but I love it so much. This is Amazonite. And every time I look at this crystal, it makes me think of like a winter wonderland. Like, you know, maybe like Elsa from Frozen. Like you're in, you know, you're in like the snow and there's like magic still there, like in the ice and the cold. It's almost like looking at like an iceberg or something. And again, I don't know much about it, but I do know like blue crystals are good for the throat chakra and good for communicating like thoughts and ideas. And so it kind of makes me think of like the tarot, like suit of swords, which is connected to like mental energy. But yeah, if you want to get that like winter wonderland magical type of energy, Amazonite is really awesome. And I feel like it really is very soothing for my emotions as well. Okay, this next crystal I love because it kind of reminds me of blue cheese. And I think it's so weird. And it's got like these kind of like green, veiny, like greenish color like in it, like blue cheese. And it's called tree agate. So this one I think is just so interesting. It's almost gotten this like it's like these like blue cheese, it's got these like green, like hidden like veins going in and out of this like white crystal. And I always think it's kind of weird and funky, but it's also it reminds me of snow, like finding something in the snow and like finding something that's hidden like in the earth kind of thing. So this crystal does have like an earthy, like grounded energy. Um, and it almost makes me like feel like curious about like what's underneath this stone, like what's inside this stone. Um, yeah, and so it really gets your like curious, like mental energy going. It's kind of hard to see, but this is a green stone. It's called Bloodstone. This one just happens to have a rune on it, which is just from like the crystal I got. So they're green. And so at first you think it's just a green stone, but if you look very, very closely at the stone, it has these little red like flecks that look like blood coming through, and it has a kind of gruesomeness to it. And I love it. It's the best. And so I connected with Bloodstone during like one year, like I was like one of the rituals I was doing was connected to Yule and the winter solstice, and I was learning about like the story of the winter solstice and Yule. And so it just talked about in Yule, like there was like a hunt with the god Odin, and they go and oh, and it was how people celebrated. So people in oh my God, like I'm blanking out in the country, but like in Nordic countries, I'll just say that they went out for a hunt during like the winter solstice, and they would like hunt, I don't know, deer, an animal, and they would like I think put the blood over the stones and like sacrifice it. So there was like a sacrifice of the animal, and then they would have a big feast after. And so like this stone always I'm thinking of like there's a hunt and there's an animal and there's like blood like spraying all over. And it's like really intriguing to me, and it's just like helps me connect with like the darker like gruesome aspects of life and be more curious about it. And I think that is like an aspect of our human nature to be like so fascinated with like blood and gore. And like I don't think that's like unique to me. Like there are horror movies and suspense movies. We watch like I watch like National Geographic and watch like lions like attack each other. Um, yeah, like and like lots of us are into like there's like the whole series on like women who kill their husbands snapped, well that was a while ago, or like murder mysteries and stuff. Like as much as we say like oh these things are awful, there is an element of us that's like super curious about like dark and gory stuff. And like I feel like this crystal like helps connect to the darker aspects but also brings us into a place of like again like the tree got like curiosity about it. And so yeah, the bloodstone like helps come to harmony with all that. Okay, this next one is actually kind of hard to find too. It's blue lace agate. And I love this one. Holding up to the light, it's even like translucent a little bit. I don't, you probably can't see it in camera, but as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I can see through this. I love this stone. It is so dreamy and airy and cloudy, but it has this like organization to it too. And it's really good for like soothing like your mind and like helping you to organize like your thoughts. If you're trying to get your mind like organized, this is definitely a good stone for you. Okay, And so this is a stone that I've come to like. I wasn't really into black stones that much. But as I got into more protection magic, which was inspired by, I have to give a shout out to Witch Baby Soaps. I'm part of their spell box and their rituals, which are amazing. It is recommended to do protection magic. Now, at first, I wasn't into black crystals. I'm not really into like super dark things, even though I just talked about that bloodstone. But I'm not really into black or like telling people to go away or whatever. But it was brought up that like protecting your energy is super important, but also that you have the right to protect your energy. And there is like I do have that like problem of like wanting to help everybody and thinking that I'm responsible for everyone's emotions, and I'm not. I'm responsible for mine, and like I'm responsible for being like a generally good person, but that doesn't mean that I'm responsible for other people's problems. Like other people have to like be responsible for themselves. And so this like I've the next one is black too. These black crystals really help with that and protecting my energy, and also saying that I have the right to protect my energy and like set boundaries where it's appropriate with people. So this brings me to black tourmaline, which is a little bit different than black obsidian. It's much scarier and rougher and raw, and like I feel like this is the main one that I like to use for protection, because she's scary and she's like, if any bitch tries to mess with you, I will fuck her up. Like this is basically like black tourmaline's energy. So if you do need protection, like people are like overstepping with you or testing you or like just being like nasty, like she will protect you. Like this is a good one for that. All right, guys, so those are my 10 favorite crystals. 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it gave you inspiration on using crystals in your own practice. If you like this video, this is just a quick reminder to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release my next video. Also, if you found value in this video, thought it was really helpful, really awesome, it would be awesome for you to share it out to other people or someone you know who wants to get into that crystal magic. All right, guys, I'm going to leave some videos here that I think you'll like to watch next. Oh, I'll leave that one, like cleansing your crystals, like when you get them. And I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Bye-bye. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video every single week.